Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since I've shown my beautiful face on this channel, but today I thought I would just say hi, show you guys I'm still here, and I wanted to film a new sketchbook tour. I just finished this sketchbook today, actually. I was aiming to finish it before the end of the year so that I could do this sketchbook tour and start a new one in the new year. Like a new, it's like a perfect time for a new sketchbook, I feel like. But I did just finish this, and so today I'm going to share with you the pages in the sketchbook. So I'm going to go ahead and just change camera angles so you can see the view from the other camera, and we'll start from there. Okay, so here's my sketchbook. This sketchbook is a 8x8 inch. It's an 80-page sketchbook, 103 pound or 280 gram acid free. Excellent for markers, pen, and ink is what the label says. So here's actually my new one. It's exact same book. I got it from Hobby Lobby, and it's Master's Touch brand. As you can see, it was $13.99, but I always get these when they're like 40 or 50% off, or Master's Touch goes on sale all the time at Hobby Lobby. So anytime I see those sales, it's like 40% off all Master's Touch. That's when I go in and I load up on all my sketchbooks and tablets and canvases and paintbrushes and all that stuff. So here's the new one. This is what it looks like, brand new, just empty pages. As you can see, the pages are really thick. It's like really thick, heavy-duty cardstock. And I have multiple sketchbooks, but this one is the one that I use mostly for ink, markers. I do a lot of ink and marker, and I like it also for gouache sometimes. Even though it's not really absorbent, it's good for like the opaque quality of the gouache. And you could even use acrylic paint in here if you want to, but I just don't tend to use acrylic paint too much in my sketchbooks, so I don't do that a whole lot, but you could. It is really, really nice, and I really like these because it's super affordable. Look at that. I mean, like, honestly, even if you pay full price, this is still more affordable than a lot of other really heavy-duty sketchbooks that you could find out there are. So highly recommend. I keep buying this sketchbook because I like it so much. Anyways, so here's the completed one. As you can see, I have stickers all over it, just random stickers. This one's actually one of my own stickers, my Nautilus sticker. I really like this. And then my husband just got me these really cool books for Christmas full of stickers. They're like a whole book, an entire book of just stickers. So I picked this falcon with a helmet, and then this lady on the moon, and a polar bear because I'm obsessed with York Burnison from his Dark Materials. You guys know that book. Anyways, all right, so I did not do anything on the front page. Like, this always makes me nervous, and so I usually just skip it because I feel like if I'm not drawing on the front page, I'm not ruining the sketchbook, and so I skip it, and then I think I'll come back to it, but I never do. I kept thinking about it today, like, and I was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do anything right now. Like, if I feel like it later, I will, but I think I'm just done. It's fine. So I could probably put the dates on there, but whatever. So the first sketch in here I did on April 30th of this year, 2022. And this was a spread of flamingos, obviously. I just wanted to, I don't know, I just felt like drawing something, and I wanted to do something that was kind of eye-catching, and I wanted a whole spread of like multiple sort of angles and different styles of drawings and stuff. So I mean, I've become more aware of the fact that I have a very illustrative style of art, and that's just kind of who I am as an artist, and I never really noticed that about myself before, which is weird because I've been doing it forever, but I just sort of noticed it once I started trying to put a label on my art style, which isn't always necessary anyways, but anyway, so so the first spread was those flamingos. This is all done with I believe these are my alcohol markers. I have like dual tip alcohol markers and like a Tombow pen, probably. It looks like I sketched it with a red colored pencil first. So, then it was, springtime, May 1st. I was like, oh, the dandelions time. And I was being inspired by different posts about dandelions and how they're, such a versatile plant. And I don't know, I was very interested in that. And I just like the illustrative quality of these drawings too, just like very loose, but still representative of what they are, so that's pretty cool. And this little girl in a hammock, it's very springy as well. And these ones I did with, it was just like a brown colored pencil and then a black pen. And these might just be like regular water-based markers, actually. Yeah, because I think these ones were just regular water-based markers, and then I go in with like a water brush and I sort of wet it down so it gets this sort of watercolor effect, and then I can kind of paint with it. I don't know, I just messed around with it, and this paper is really good for that because it's, I mean, it buckles a little bit, but it doesn't bleed through, so it's really nice. All right, then we're getting to May. So obviously May, Mermay is a thing, and I'm obsessed with mermaids, so I do generally like to at least participate a little bit in Mermay, whether it's every day or not, but I did design quite a few mermaids for Mermay. These are both gouache paintings. Pretty straightforward mermaid designs. I don't know. Pretty cool. This one's kind of a shark. And then this one's sort of a ghosty, like deep sea mermaid, I feel like. She's got her gills on the side. She's like this blue-skinned. I just felt like drawing goats, so I drew some goats, ballpoint pen, and this was like a blue pencil. And then I kind of went back later on and zhuzhed it up a little bit with some markers, just some highlighters to do the background, just to fill in the background. I just wanted to like make it look like a cohesive spread. Yeah, me. Ghost. This was another spread. I just wanted to draw this sort of figure. I drew it with a colored pencil first, and then I outlined it with ink, but I still left the like shading lines with pencil. It was like, oh, it looks like pencil and colored pencil. I probably did some of the shading with the darker pencil too, just to keep it more obvious. Went over it with some marker and some like metallic silver gel pen to get some of those little star details and just make it look more interesting. Again, I think originally I didn't have the marker in there, and then I just added this whole made of stars, and I made it into like an actual art piece instead of just like a weird random sketch. Anyway, this one I just wanted to draw hands, I think, so I was looking at different hand references, just practicing hand poses, and it was like sprinkling magic. I don't know. Some little bugs, because I love bugs. I actually really love this horned beetle. It's so cute. I kind of want to pet one, like to have one, but I feel like it wouldn't survive. Like I would be a terrible mother to a gigantic beetle, so they're better off without me. I'll just observe and appreciate them from a distance. This was a sketch for a painting that I did, and it was similar to this. It was just, I did it on a canvas that was patterned, and then I had her kind of like hanging out of this little, she looks almost like she's looking out of like a peephole from a ship or whatever. What are those called? And then this sort of like reflects that whole circular motion. I don't know, they kind of went together with the blue and the yellow, and this was not my favorite sketch. I don't know, I hate the hatching in here. I did not do her face very much justice once I went in with that ink, but ink is unforgiving. She was just like it was a reference from like a 1920s style like flapper headdress that I was drawing. My urban jungle warriors, squirrel and the possum and the chipmunk, little rat, little trash panda. Just, again, brown pencil. This one was a blue pencil. I don't know, like light colored sketching with colored pencils, and then I just went over it with some black ink. I really like the little rat. I don't know, I think he's really cute. I mean, they're all kind of cute, but I think he's my favorite on this page just because he's so simple but so expressive. I don't know, I like it. This was, I don't know, for some reason I wanted to draw a girl with headphones on, and this was like, I got these new highlighters and I wanted to make it look colorful. It's nothing super special, but whatever. One of my friend's daughter's birthday was coming up, and she was obsessed with guinea pigs, so I made these and I turned them into stickers for her. so she could put them on her like water bottle and stuff. They turned out really cute. I like this little guy with the celery. I think he's the cutest. Guinea pigs. This was like, I think this is a tiger moth, but it was just a reference photo I found on the internet, and I painted it in gouache. And then this is like a little, reference was a photo of a fox and a rabbit, like snuggling together. It was just super cute. So, fox in the hair, and I don't know, I added some little like holly around them. I don't know why I didn't color in the red berries. Maybe I just wanted to keep it really simple, I guess. I don't know. Again, not my favorite sketch. I'm not super great at cross-hatching. I don't know. I guess I just need more practice, but it's probably not my favorite technique either. I just get too frustrated and impatient with it. Camel and a dung beetle. Because I love camels. I just think they're so weird and cool and funky. And then this page, I put this flap over here because this is a gouache painting and this is graphite, and I don't want them to smear together. But this was a gouache painting I did of this really cool, I think it's a type of emperor moth, but I really like this super, super cool pattern on this moth. It turned out awesome. So here's another little marker sketch I did of a mouse, like a little snuggly mouse, and I turned him in, gave him a little moon cheese. Like one of those Sphinx cats. What are they called? They're super cool. The hairless ones. And they always look like they are like so wise for some reason. Like an old wrinkly shaman or something. Little ladybug and a dragonfly and a moth. This was some of my sketching in the car on our drive to somewhere. We were in the car driving somewhere and I did this, I think. I don't remember where we were going, but we were in the car and I was drawing my own foot, my own hand. LR. I just put these on here, I don't know, left and right. Testing out this pen. The pen that I had was one of those ones that you flip it and change the color in the pen. A weird tadpole who learned how to love. I don't know, some weird squiggly design. It turned into a tadpole and then I gave it a heart. Don't ask. I don't know. I'm a weirdo. This one was just a cool, like, sort of like illustrative whale that I wanted to draw. And then I just sort of practiced drawing some ocean back down here. It wasn't even like meant to be a whole composition of a whale like flying above the water. It just turned into that with the sketches that I drew on the page, and then I just sort of trying to cover up some of the bleed through. Oh man, I didn't even show that page. The bleed through from the previous page. Well, let's go back. This was the previous page. This is actually one of my favorite illustrations in this book, but it's marker. This is all alcohol marker. I have the Cali Art alcohol marker set that I got from Amazon. I really like them, the dual tip markers. I think I have like 130 or something like that in my set, but here are the colors that I used. I swatched them over here, and then I sort of did a little gold outline, and it makes it more like sort of like graphic designy. This was like a little terrarium thing that I drew. I don't know, crystal shaped terrarium with a little plant inside. And there's that, and then here's the armadillo. I don't know, I feel like drawing weird animals, and I really think armadillos are weird and pretty cool. So here he's from this side, and then this is what they look like when they ball themselves up. These I drew when we were on vacation in Galena. It was August. This was like a albino raven I found a photo of, and I know I drew it red, but it's just kind of the highlights. So it's really like a white raven, but I sort of like used the red color as the shadow and the blue to contrast. Made it look like it was in front of the moon with some little designs around it too. Some more gold gel pen. Same with this little bird. I think it's like some kind of no, it's not a chickadee. It's a little finch or something. Tiny little bird. They're probably like, 2 or 3 inches big in reality. But it was cute. So that's marker also. Both of these are marker. This one actually I did with water-based markers because I went into it with water again and kind of softened out some of the edges to give it that watercolor sort of texture. But yeah, I think the water-based markers are the ones that I brought with to the vacation. And I wanted to do a spread of grizzly bears. I always want to draw bears for some reason, but I feel like they're not an interesting enough subject for other people sometimes, which I know I shouldn't care about, but sometimes I overthink it and I'm like, oh, nobody's going to want to look at this. People have seen 1,000 pictures of bears. Like, everybody draws bears. I don't know if they really do or not, but it's probably because they're so cool. I don't know. Anyways, some posing grizzly bears here. I like this one. This one's screaming out. I just did some little designs behind it with markers again. And sometimes just adding these sort of like background shapes is what makes the page cohesive. I just sort of decided on a color scheme with like the greenish blues and the yellows and just did that instead of actually, you know, shading in my bears. This was a really, really fun spread actually. My pages are a little bit warped because I used a lot of water, but yeah, I found this picture of like a dark and a white like barn owl, and I painted them together and I wanted to sort of represent opposites, or like a yin-yang sort of thing. So this one is, you know, like sunset probably. And this one is obviously late night on a full moon. And it's all done with, again, this is all markers, and I might have used a little bit of gouache mixed in here. I don't know, yeah, to make some cloud effects here. But this is all just water on the markers. And then it looks like I did go in with some maybe white colored pencils, some other colored pencils too, on top of the markers, just to get some more details in the shading and the owls. But this was a super cool spread. I like it. Yeah, praying mantis. It's so cool, right? You never would have thought, sometimes when you look at a praying mantis with its wings down, you would have never realized how colorful they can be on the inside. And then this one was a weird caterpillar, and so I sort of turned it into like this weird psychedelic space worm. I don't know. I made a design around it because having just the caterpillar in the middle wasn't enough. I had to do something else, so it's on this twisty vine coming out of nowhere, and whatever it is, I don't know. This is markers, and then these are acrylic paint markers, I think, like a metallic paint marker for the clouds. Black paint marker maybe too. These are some weird random cat sketches. Cat-like alien creatures. It was a very strange day. I don't know. Yeah, that's all I can say about that. They're weird. And they're kind of light. I don't know if you can see them very well, but I really like these drawings, and I didn't ink them in because I liked the quality, the light pencil quality of them. I don't know. I just thought they were pretty interesting. I've not done anything with these because it's not something I normally draw, but I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool. Ooh, this is another favorite. So this one is a spread of, obviously, this roller skate girl, and as we know from previous sketchbooks, I do love roller skates and roller girls and roller derby, even though I don't roller skate really. But I really, really liked the image, so I sort of broke it up into a 2-part piece, like a diptych, and obviously it goes this way, you know. But it's all, this is gouache, so I painted it with gouache, and this was September 20th of 22, so that was the date on that. This probably took me a couple hours to do. It's not like a typical like super quick sketch or anything, obviously, but it was a really, really fun exercise, and I really love this piece a lot. And on contrast, these are some very quick pencil sketches. As you can see, I don't do a lot of pencil sketches in this book because I've learned from the past, these sketchbooks don't have a lot of pages, and I don't want to waste them on just pencil sketches. I have plenty of other sketchbooks that are thin paper that are made for pencil sketching that are, you know, better anyways because they're the right texture. These are so smooth. It's like Bristol board smooth almost. So pencil just smears all over it. But I just kind of was trying to sketch out some ideas here. I had a couple of like concepts that I wanted to do. This one I sketched in pencil and I meant to just ink the whole thing in, but I liked the shading with the pencil so much and I didn't want to screw it up with my inconsistent cross-hatching skills, so I left it with pencil. And then I just inked in the solid parts and the snake, and then I just went over the snake's scales with like a white color pencil. And the stars too, some of those little constellations. I was drawing, it was getting close to Halloween, so bats, obviously, on my mind. It's not my favorite sketch. It's kind of, it looks really unfinished, but I didn't know what else to do with it, so that's what it was. I don't know. This was a marker sketch that I went over with colored pencil. Some of the lines just didn't cover up very well. I'm not super happy with the like shading on this, but again, this is not the greatest paper for colored pencil either, so it's just a sketchbook, but it was like a cute portrait, I guess. Oh, I love this one. Two foxes playing in a field. I don't know. I put them with this little like box around them just to keep them in composition, you know, and then I sort of just added a little bit of color. Again, this was with like water-based marker, and then I had a water brush with me. I was sketching this at the park when Story was playing with friends, I think, and just drawing on the bench and drew these little foxes, and so I had to use the tools that I had with me. Oh, sharks. Again, I think I drew this at the park too. Might have been even the same day. Just sketching some sharks. I didn't even add color or anything to this page. Just, I kind of like it the way it is. Just the line drawings of sharks. I don't know. Hippos. There might be a theme of me wanting to draw lots of animals in this book, and I sort of like do a couple angles or different sort of iterations of the animals on the page just to sort of make it interesting, and feels like it's easier to study a creature if you draw different angles or different versions of them. I mean, maybe it's a stereotype, but you know, hungry hippos, right? This was a video, I think I posted this on an Instagram video too, but it's a gouache painting as well. And I really wanted to draw a plant because I wanted to draw these veins. Just wanted to draw the plant veins. So this is the picture that I chose to draw and paint. And then I wrote grow, just because, you know, I like to have words on my sketchbook for some reason. I don't know. It's too literal, I guess. Some more camels. This was like a little sepia pencil I had. And I drew a bunch of camels, and then I added some detail in the background just to make it look fun. It was like, I don't know. But these are all 6 different types of camels. There are 6 different types of camels. Did you know that? I didn't know that until I started learning about camels so that I could draw them. But these are the 6 different types of camels that you can find. A vulture, because I really like vultures. And this was I just playing with like different techniques to do with markers and stuff, and some paint markers over it, and I don't know. Obviously, this is not the greatest. You can see the lines and the markers a lot, but again, a sketchbook. It's not supposed to be perfect. Squid. It's just cute. I don't know. I love squids. I just wanted to do a portrait drawing, I guess. I don't know. I drew this with a colored pencil, and then I added some little fun details to make it into a cool composition. That was back November 5th. This is a jellyfish sketch. Again, not my favorite, but I did add a little details with some like weird bubble shapes, and I don't know, I was just trying to fill up the page because I didn't know what else to do. Ooh, I like this one a lot, actually. So I found this cool like beetle sort of shape, and I drew the beetle, and then I sort of made this cool eye design, and then it just turned out really cool. Like, this looks like it could be a cool tattoo or something, I think. Like a decal for something. I don't know. It's just really neat. And then the moon phases around it, and sort of like sacred geometry type stuff. It's speaking of sacred geometry, I tried to do a golden rectangle here with a nautilus shell. It's a little bit more complicated than I anticipated, so it's kind of a cheater, and it's fake. It doesn't really match up, but it's whatever. I was inspired by my daughter's Girl Scout troop trying to vote on what their crest was going to be, and she wanted to be the nautilus shell crest, so I drew that. It's like an aloe plant, I don't know. Snake, it says. I don't know if you can even see that. It's like a snake plant holder shaped like a snake. Again, not my favorite sketch in this book, but we can't all be 10s. These were some cool sketch ideas I had for, like, I don't know, I was thinking of like sort of tarot card portraiture design type stuff. Just color pencil sketches. Another sort of like arcane, sort of like owl design with a third eye. And then this one, obviously, is a Venus flytrap. I had a bunch of ideas using Venus flytraps and like other carnivorous plants. I've just been really interested in carnivorous plants lately and trying to come up with some kind of like a larger scale painting with sort of imagery in it, but I'm not quite there yet. I haven't figured it out. Like cute little lantern drawing, and then I don't know, just use some like paint markers and stuff to cover up some of my sketch lines and the bleed through from the markers on this page, because this is also alcohol markers. So yeah, the paint markers are really good to cover up the bleed through because they're pretty opaque and they don't bleed through. So this was a beaver, and I drew it with those water-based graphite pencils, or the water-soluble graphite pencils, and then I went in with some water to sort of liquefy it and blend it. I think he's kind of cool. He's pretty cute, actually. I don't know. Again, I amplified it by adding random lines and gold outlines to it. This, we need to all live by this, right? It's trash can, not trash can't. Hello. Glass half full. Be optimistic, no matter where you're stationed in life. I don't know. I thought it was cute. I made like a little collage of like a garbage can with 2 raccoons, and then I drew it. I don't know. A girl on a swing in the sky. I wanted to practice figure drawing. That's why I was doing that. I wanted a cool, interesting pose, and I think I got the feeling of it pretty well. These are called scarlet ibises, and I just like the picture because I like birds. And I drew these with alcohol markers as well, I think. I don't know, maybe these were like water-based markers because I see some blending. Gosh, I can't even remember. I just did this the other day too. But anyways, lots of different colors, and it was a lot of fun. This was just another portrait, and I actually really like this one. I don't know if you can even see the detail I got in this though, but I did some really good shading, and I felt pretty proud of her, rendering. And the hair I thought was pretty cool, and I don't know. I just went over it with my Tombow pen. This one, my magpies spread. And there's a little saying about spotting magpies or crows. 1 for sorrow, 2 for mirth, 3 for a wedding, 4 for a birth, 5 for silver, 6 for gold, 7 for a secret never to be told, 8 for a kiss, 9 for a wish, and 10 for a sign you mustn't miss. Yeah, symbolism of spotting however many number of birds, magpies, crows, whatever the lore you choose to believe. And then we are at the end. This is the last page. I did not decide to just decorate my cover page, but I did decorate this one. I just wanted to test out this interesting like pattern that I found that looks like water. And I think it was pretty successful. It was a little bit more tricky than I expected it to be because my white paint markers don't go over the other markers very well. I had to do like 6 layers, so it took a lot longer, but yeah, I thought it looked kind of like a wishing well at the end, so I wrote wish on it. I don't know. But there we go. So that is my finished sketchbook, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it's not like as good as some of the others or as long, but I actually really like this one. I think it's a pretty cohesive sketchbook, and it really represents my art style pretty well. I feel like my evolution of my art style is getting much more and more distinct, and I recognize my own art, style when I see my artwork, and I can see a similarity between it. So doing these sketchbook tours is really fun too for me to look back and see my old ones, and hopefully it's good for you guys to see like the type of progression that I'm making, and if it's something that you want to do too. And it goes to show you what drawing every day, or at least multiple times a week, can do for your skills. Anyways, I really hope you guys like this. Please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future, and I will see you guys next time.